reason is this Penn State team. Look, they won 4 in a row, but you go through their strength of schedule, Drexel, Northwestern, then they hit some real teams, Indiana, Illinois, Oregon. They lose all 3 games. They're plus 11.5 against Michigan State tonight, but 2 of those 3 they kept inside of that number. Man, they almost beat Oregon. They lost by 1 point. They got annihilated by Illinois, and they kept it within 6 against Indiana. This Michigan State team absolutely rolling right now. They've won 9 games in a row. ATS-wise, 8-1 over that time period. And they are blowing teams out along the way. Is 11.5 too short a number here for this Michigan State team?
It's not, because while Michigan State has a regular Izzo-type defense, they're number 11 in Ken Palm ratings. Their offense is surprisingly good at number 25, but they still have some young players on their team. You have a freshman point guard. You have a freshman shooting guard. You have a sophomore power forward. And to me, I can't lay this many points with Michigan State, because when you see they're a big favorite, they don't extend the lead. They don't look to blow people out. But I also can't get to the Penn State side. Why? You mentioned the Oregon 1-point loss on Sunday. You mentioned the Indiana game where they lost by 6, but that was at home. You look at their true home games, they're fine. When they play in the RAC, they have no problems. Their only road game in that 3-game stretch that they lost was Illinois, and guess what? They lost by 39. When Penn State played at Rutgers, they lost on the road. When they played Clemson, it was a neutral game. So Penn State has 2 wins this season from a top 130 team. One was home against Purdue. One was home against Northwestern. That's enough for me to not back Penn State. But as I said, I don't want to get to the Michigan State side as a double-digit Big Ten favorite. With that said, I'm going to go to another under here as well. Penn State 0-3 ATS on the way. We talked about that. But when they are away from home playing a road or neutral game, they are 0-6 over-under. All 6 games have gone under the total. Michigan State at home, 8-0 straight up, 5-3 against the spread, 2-6 over-under. But when you look at Michigan State's last 5 games at home, 5 unders, no overs, and they've held those foes to 62.4%. So I'm going to split my best bet here. I'm going to say I like the game under the total, and I'm going to say I like the Penn State team total under the total, figuring Michigan will hold them into the high 50s. Penn State has pressed the tempo a little bit, but you got to remember, when you've only played 2 true home games and you're looking at Ken Palm's tempo ratings, you have to justify, is that a legitimate rating? Or were they very fast-paced at home against very weak defenses, which is 100% different than playing fast tempo on the road against an elite defense, which I don't think they do. So that's where tempos are different when you start this conference season. This is one situation that I expect Penn State in conference tempo to be much closer in the 150s to 180 numbers, middle of the road, when we get into the conference schedule a few more weeks.
What do you have to promote for our clients?
Well, I had a 5% NFL teaser, which just came down because there's a line move. So take a look. I'm number 2 in profit the last 30 days. It's been an incredible run. I do have a college basketball 4% best bet up and available now. And I do want to sincerely thank everyone that was on board for my $5 5% winner last night on the Kentucky Wildcats. Again, it's been a great 6 weeks. Just looking to continue that stretch.